So, first match, let's see what we're up against. I've made some changes to my deck, to the sideboard, including 2 Pyroclasm and 1 Engineer Explosives for some annoying matchups. Let's see if it pans out. Losing the die roll always sucks, but hey, what's up? Glad you could join us. This is a fine keep. We have creature into damage. Can't really ask for much more. Hey, let's see if we can do it this time and not get paired with Bogles and mono white. This could be anything. Could even be a boat. It could actually be a bolt. Yeah, Pyroclasm for white for taxes. It also helps a ton there, and it has its uses against prowess, especially if they aren't really playing around it. So I think it might be a good inclusion. It is gonna get bolted. Alright, it shock land, so that this Swift Sphere already did enough. So this is probably Jeskai control. Okay, so it's real tempting to suspend Rift Bolt and just jam a Lava Spike, but I think that we need to force instant speed interaction here, so we'll just pass. Come on, opponent. Do you have a cantrip? Also, drawing Skullcrack is great, because he's probably running Lightning Helix. Come on, opponent. Do something. I don't think it's me, right? Yeah, it took a while. It might be double queuing or something, or just not paying attention. See? Sorry about that. So he's passing, okay. Yeah, we're just gonna wait until he does something. Now if he taps here, Omen of the Sea, I think we just hit him, yeah? Like, he can force, but that's not great at this point in the game, because I have a ton of cards. Omen of the Sea is a great card in my opinion, and it should definitely see more play. People are trying Frantic Inventory in control, and Omen of the Sea does so much more on first and even on second cast. So this is Saily combo. Huh. So I need to hold off interaction, yeah? So I need to hold up interaction. I'm very close to lethal. So here's what I'm doing. Should I spike Saheeli so he can't minus? No, right? Because if he has another Saheeli, it doesn't matter. And you could counter the bolt on, but cat costs 4, right? Does cat cost 4? Let me just check that. Cat costs 4, so he's probably going for cat next turn. And we bolt Saheeli. And then he's down to 9, and it's... oh, it's not lethal, is it? I shouldn't have suspended that Rift Bolt, I think. So I think I need to spike face, hold up bolt for cat, and if he cats, I... no wait, but Saheeli, so he plays cat and he targets Saheeli, so I can't bolt it then. Then Saheeli blinks and blinks cat, and I can't bolt it then. A tough spot. I think I need to hold up Boris Farm for Saheeli. Or do I just charm Saheeli now? Do I have to charm Saheeli now? Wait, I'll do it on draw step. Because that way if he's countering me, he can't play cat. Okay, so Saheeli died, so that's fine. The ferret... oh, that's a rough one. I forgot that was a card for a moment, and bye bye, Rift Bolt. Damn. That really blew back. Yeah, I can play this, so now I'm way off lethal. So now I can't even hold Skullcrack for Helix, so I just gotta go for it. And like if he has Lightning Helix, I just have to take it. But if he's playing Helix, he's not playing a combo piece, so that's at least something. And I have Canopy lands in case I draw more lands. He remanded the Skullcrack. No, he forced the Skullcrack. Alright. They play Saheeli. He's still at 6. So if he has cat, I'm just dead here. I don't think I want to play around cat. Seal of Fire is not great. Goblin guy is a bit better. Like I have to go face. Wereville cat, Omen. Omen's fine. I don't think I can play around cat here. Cat has like 4 toughness, right? Yeah, guide is great here. So he plays this. Yeah, I was wondering the other day why this deck isn't seeing much play. With Omen of the Sea and Force and Teferi, like, it sounds really good. Wait, did he... so he has Lightning Helix for the guide for sure. And I draw a land. Not like this. Well, the thing about Uro is that it gets hit really badly with Graveyard Hate, and it's never a bad thing to play Graveyard Hate in Modern, whereas this loses to creature removal, and if there's something that I know about Modern is that people don't play enough creature removal. So even when Goblins was like a big thing, yeah, Bolt's great here. He forced, so, and he's drawing another force. It's actually fine. Means he doesn't really have anything for us to worry about. I don't think we'll die to Saheeli anytime soon. Yeah, I'm just... Wait. Oh yeah, I'm just dead. Like, I'm not gonna even go for it. Yeah, Charm would have been great. Now, sideboard wise, I definitely want the Skull Cracks. I definitely don't want Incinerator. I don't think that Explosives does anything. Like, it kinda cheats. Yeah, I can't even cheat out a win with it, so I'm just gonna go for one Surgical. Like, the card's great against control because you get to peek at their hand. That's definitely something very valuable against control. Just Incinerator out. I think that's fine. Yes, I would like to play first. This hand's very keepable. And I think I'm gonna shock myself here. He's probably playing Timely Reinforcements, so shocking myself guarantees that he can't play Timely as soon as he'd want. So that's something great. Just if he reveals anything, we'll know. We're starting explosive. What's the idea behind it? Oh, Bolt here is awful. Explosives goes around a bunch of stuff, but the matchups that I'm looking to steal are mono white tokens, where you can just, it's just a 2-mana board wipe, or prowess. It's also very good against prowess. And just because I hate Bogles and I played it against it yesterday, like, at least I have one card in 75 that kinda beats Bogles. So that's the thing. So I didn't draw a creature, so it's fine that I didn't play anything. So here's the thing. Do I play around Helix? Like, Helix me is so suboptimal that I think that I can afford not to play around it. I'm just gonna play these 2 Seals of Fire. This is definitely not a great matchup. They have tons of tools against us. So him not doing anything here tells me that he doesn't have Lightning Helix. And Surgical is great here. And I think we Skewer and now hold up Skullcrack if it tries to Helix, and we Surgical the Helix. Surgicaling a combo piece would be great, but it would involve me killing a combo piece, which I'm not a big fan of. Let's see if it tries anything funny. Probably a tap land. Or Omen of the Sea. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, this card really digs. Insane amounts of card selection there. And it even has Flood Insurance. It's crazy how a lot of blue cards from Cycles are just insanely good, and then the rest of the colors are just unplayable. This is good. This means no fixing without shocking itself. This is Sahili, of course it's Sahili. I could kill Sahili and then surgical. Like, is that a thing I want to do? Like, not really, right? Like, I don't think it's ideal. I think I want to kill him as fast as possible because he probably has outs for me killing his combo. He probably does, right? And like, I have met 8 here, or 7 actually. So I think I'll draw here. I don't want to waste Skullcrack over nothing. And Charmir is great, so I have met a theoretical 3. This land is fine. I can still kill Sahili if he plays cat, but I want to avoid that line as much as possible. Yeah, Charm there is just great. So still no white. Seasoned Pyromancer, now that's a good one. Sure, it resolves. I want to see what he discards. Nothing great. Okay, so is he trying to aggro me out? Because if we draw a bolt here, we're in a very fine spot. Unless he plays Spell Snare, which is a bad card and he shouldn't do it, but he probably does. So no Spell Snare. So a lot of draws just to win the game here. That's not one of them. So let's cycle this so we can play this one untapped. Not great, but not the most awful thing. Still breaks up the combo for free through to Fairy. Kinda. Not anymore, because he can just like Sail is just way off seal range. So him going down to 7 here is great. If he shocks himself, so this is probably cat to Fairy. So I think we Skullcrack now, right? Yeah, because if we draw Bolt, we just win. And this doesn't symbolize anything that it's too annoying. I don't know if they're running Mana Leak. They probably are. So scalping Seasoned Pyromancer is actually a great great use for sale. Yeah, I'm really liking this build, to be honest. So he has to go to 1 each iteration past the first. Oh yeah, that's true. That's very true. Silafire is actually great here. Huh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, good point. Bouncing Seordane. We're in great shape. Of course he's gonna attack me for a bunch. I have to be careful about my life total here. Like, I'm dead next turn. Saily +1 gets me down to 5, and there's 5 on table. So I need to draw something here. Seal of Fire. That's not awful. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna check his hand. Because I die if I don't do anything here, right? And he only kills me with double bolt. He only kills me with double bolt, so let's use that. Yeah, and Singman, that's Flusterstorm is awful. Wait, no, Flusterstorm doesn't do anything. Force does, and he has plenty of targets for it. So we have to beat Double Force, and we cannot beat Double Force. So We just lost. Like, we can't beat this double force. Like, ever. So we just lost. I really like this build though. Like, Seasoned Pyromancer I think is a great card for this combo deck, because it filters really well and puts up blockers and actually puts up pressure beyond the combo, which is great. I really like this build. Is this like a known player? If this is a known player, I'll definitely check out this list. Yeah, but I'm just dead, so let's just let him play. If I draw a bolt of this canopy, I could still win, but no, he has Flusterstorm, so like that's a one mana counter, which he has Sea Ordain and Snap, so he could put it up on a big storm count. I don't think that I have anything here. Let's just check what our next draw was. If it's a bolt, now this would have been a great draw. I would still be dead on board, but this would have been a great draw early on. Alright, GG. Not the best start, but I really liked this match. It was quite fun. And that's something you always have to look out for. Great matches are just good, even if you lose. I should try to keep like the current score on screen. Let's see if I remember to keep doing that. Okay, so I'm on the play, much better this time. This hand's Anus, so we mull. This hand's a bit less Anus, so we keep. I think we have to bottom Incinerator here. Or we're just greedy and don't. Yeah, I like that plan. Because if we draw Bolt, not even there. Still, if we get to play it, it's great, and I don't really want a third land so soon. Yeah, it's hard to play, but it's better than land. We're up against Storm, so this is not a great hand, but it's keepable because it applies tons of pressure. And he even has to shock himself. Is he playing bolts in the main board? No, Simri. So he had to shock himself. If I draw something like a bolt, we're in great shape, or an Eidolon. Yeah, but actually if I had known it was Storm, I wouldn't have kept Incinerator. It's a bad card against the matchup, because it requires you to go all in. When you really don't want to go all in, you want to hold up interaction. Skewer here is fine, because he can't play Baral next turn, or else I just attack and then skewer Baral. I just double Swifty here and put out tons of pressure. Now if I draw any form of burn, I think it's lethal next turn, if I'm decent at math. Any bolt is 12. Seal is still above 12 because so it plays Baral. Alright. See if we can get somewhat lucky and draw a Lava Spike or Bolt here. Never didn't have it. Sadly I can't save it for a third land for Incinerator. Like, I can't let him untap with Baral on table. This thing dies, this thing dies. Now we can still win. We'll be down at 1. So we can still win. But he needs, like, Baral or Electromancer into the absolute nuts. And him not surrendering means there's something he has, or there's something he wants to try, like a cantrip or praying. Let's see. Sleight of hand, so he can't combo now. Yeah. Alright. Great game one. Alright, so I'm siding out Incinerator, I'm siding in Path. I like to put them side by side. Now, I usually side in a Skullcrack because it's a burn spell, but I'm wondering if Engineered Explosives is like a decent card to side in, because I put it up to 2, and then he can play. I mean, it's still with Extraction for Passing Flames. Maybe it's decent. Like maybe 1, or to like extract a bolt if he's trying to pass in flames a bolt. I lost because of that yesterday. Seems decent. Let's try it and like 2 and just remove Skullcrack. Yeah, good suggestion. I like this configuration. Decent hand. I don't like Skewer that much, but I have to keep because of Eidolon and Path. He can also kill Goblin Storm. Oh yeah. I think I'm gonna bring it to game 3. Like Goblin Storm at 5 can just be so strong. Now he probably has some form of removal. Yeah, he killing Goblin Storm is actually pretty 200 IQ there. Land here is not great. As much as I'd like to fetch, this can come down to life totals. And I really don't want this to come down to life totals. So can I afford to not play? Yeah, I think so. I think with 4 lands we're bound to not draw land next turn. Now this symbolizes Bolt, and you can't really do anything. Or you could try to test me and play something. But Path actually giving them the land is awful, because they can still combo through Eidolon if they have a gut shot or a bolt in hand. So that's definitely not great. But I think I have to jam Eidolon here. Like if they have the turn 3 kill, I don't think that with this hand... I mean, I can. I'm gonna seal and hold up Path. So if he tries to combo, I can stop it. That seems more reasonable. Next turn I can play Eidolon with Path up, if he doesn't play anything here. Or he just remands this. No? Yeah, would have been a bad remand. Yeah, Storm can still win through Eidolon if they have... Like, they can Storm for a gut shot and then continue the Storm and just beat me. So I really like removing whatever creature they play before playing Eidolon. And this also threatens to kill Goblin, which makes me very hopeful that it has Goblin and doesn't play it. So he found the 3rd land, and he's not playing anything. I mean, no Serum Visions, no Sleight of Hand, that's weird. Guide here is interesting. So I'm gonna actually play the canopy so I can have white and not reveal that I'm not obviously reveal that of course I have interaction. Like I've been holding up 1 mana since the beginning of the game, but this mana situation tells my opponent doesn't tell as loudly to my opponent that I'm holding up path. Okay, so here's the thing. If they go creature, we just have a handful of yeah. Ritual, so he's gonna gut shot the Eidolon. Which isn't awful. Because he's taking 4 damage from Eidolon, which is decent. It's decent Eidolon value. And does he play a creature here? Let's see. No, he doesn't. So he has 1 mana up. I don't think they have anything to play there. Maybe opt. Bolt here is great. So we go guide. We attack. We play 1 skewer, so we have 2 pieces of interaction, meaning we still beat Remand. No land. Ritual's fine. So we still beat a land. Oh, I forgot about skewer. God damn it. Well. That was pretty bad. When I'm spamming, I sometimes skip through phases. Yeah, it happens. Like game 2 against Storm, because you're almost definitely on the draw, is so close. Like going to game 3, you're always dependent on you can play them all next turn. Yeah, so it's mostly fine. My opponent doesn't have a land because he didn't drop a land last turn. So I don't even lose to... He can't actually do anything here. So I think he's gonna be pretty down. So he's waiting for... I'm gonna crack this canopy if he doesn't play anything. And I kinda wanna bolt face, because this is 9 and this is 11. So any bolt kills him. And I still have path to play around. So he's still in his main phase, so I'm not gonna do anything here. I'm gonna pass. So I'm gonna crack this. Not great, but at least it's off the top. So I'm gonna bolt him. He might have a counter spell, which is fine because it just returns it to hand. So Seal is okay here. So let's force him to bolt our guide. Or a braid. They play both because Eidolon is so strong against them. Like they can't afford to go to game without an answer to Eidolon. Pass and Flames on top there is great. Like my opponent doesn't have the means to combo through my Path to Exile. So I think I go Skewer. And I know I have lethal, but if he has a counterspell, I might lose, because he can go Baral, Ritual, Pass and Flames and still beat me. So I'm not gonna risk it. I'm gonna play the Seal of Fire and I'm gonna pass. Like with 3 mana, you can't counter my path and still combo. So I think we got him. So that's fine. Is he gonna kill my goblin guy? Brawl, 1 mana floating. Yeah, not so fast. He has 4 cards in hand. Does he have any combination of cards that beat me? Yeah, okay. So Storm, it's not completely free, but it's pretty free. I lost to it yesterday actually. I played a league later that night. Oh, so the guy, god damn it, the GS guy cat combo guy was this one. 8 trophies. That's pretty great. So there's probably a list somewhere, and I'd like to check it out because that looked very cool. This hand isn't great, but being on the play makes me like it more. I'll keep. Like rule of thumb, 3 mana, 4 spells, and you keep. But I'm actually gonna fetch here and not play the Vantage, just to avoid drawing more lands. Like, 1 more land is okay-ish, 2 more lands is just unplayable. So is he on Windswept Heath? So that could mean anything. So Amulet. So this hand is definitely not great. Now, I know a few people would tell me to just kill the scout, but being on the play, I think that running is your best bet. Just because killing the scout could mean nothing if they just... It delays them a turn, but it also kinda delays me a turn. So I think that going face is just better here. And now Seal of Fire was an interesting draw. Now I do kill the thing, the snake. Okay, so this is fine. It's not optimal to play 2 1-mana spells on turn 2 when you have Warrior's Charm, because next turn it symbolizes leaving 1 open mana. But I think that killing the scout is quite good. So he didn't even try to kill my Vantage there, luckily, because it would have killed our hand. It would have been a bad play, of course, like, but still, glad they didn't do it. Yeah, running is great, but Seal of Fire is not the best card, so, like, Seal of Fire is a great card, but it's only 2 damage, so it's the best card to kill a scout. And there's another, this is actually great because I get to use all of my mana. I'm gonna wait here, just because I can. Now he has Ghost Quarter, which he can try and be cheeky with and kill a Vantage, which would be awful. So Dryad, alright. I don't think he can Titan here. 8, 9, 10. So we need a bolt off the top. Okay, that's fine. Now we can tighten next turn, so we really need a bolt here. We really need a bolt. And not a rift bolt, please. And not a skull crack. I run one in the main. I hope I don't draw it. Come on, one bolt. Rift bolt, no. Sadly, I can't do anything. He's obviously gonna tighten here. Like he has to tighten, right? Yeah. And he didn't even play a land, so you can go bounce Radiant and then replay the Radiant. Which is exactly what he's doing. Alright. So we need another Boris Charm off the top to win this. That does not sound great. It's gonna go down to 9, down to 6. We'd need Boris Charm to win. One time, deck, one time. I know we've played 2, we just need another one. We play 4. A land. Oh. And like, he kept a bounce in hand, right? Or you can just attack for bounce. Yeah, we don't win this, sadly. Amulet's a pretty tough matchup. Like, our answer is here. But that's about it. This may seem weird, but I don't love Eidolon here. Because it doesn't beat their best draws, or even their mediocre draws of like turn 2 Dryad, turn 4 Titan, because they can just play well around it. It's never gonna attack. Never lucky. I mean, we had played 2 Boris Charm, I can't really complain there. I think I take Eidolon out and bring in Skullcrack for Radiant Fountain and Baloth, which some people play. And what else? What else? I don't want to bring Smash Simmerins, it's too narrow. If I had Destructive Revelry, I'd bring it in, because it's great there, killing both Dryad and Amulet, but not like this. I think I want one path. Yeah, I think I have to mull for Incinerator actually. But yeah, let's keep it like that. One path. I don't want to sideboard too many paths and then just ramp them up to Titan altogether. Risky hand, very risky hand. If I don't draw a land, I just lose. If I draw a land, I just win. And the probabilities of me drawing a land here are something like 1 in 3. And I don't really love those odds. I think I have to mull, sadly, because this has the perfect setup, but I have to mull. Not as great, but decent. So I'm actually gonna keep Riftbolt in case our turn 2 sees an Incinerator. I'm gonna shock myself because he has Ghost Quarter. And I think he wins by a mile, not by an inch. So hopefully this guy doesn't draw him too many lands. Pact on top is decent. Did he keep 7? He kept 6. Turn 1 Amulet's always scary. But this guy's gonna go in for... Okay, Incinerator is awesome. So I just Rift Bolt and attack. Like, I could risk it and play this bolt too, but I think it's way too risky. I think it's way too risky to play a bolt here. Because if I draw anything other than actual bolt, so skewer, seal, or lava spike, or bolt, which is a lot of cards, but I'd rather take the deterministic line. Dryad. Okay, so my opponent has Titan next turn, most likely. But Incinerator plus Boros Charm beat their Titan. So that's pretty great. So if I could draw like a bolt here, it would be the best. Because then I can kill Titan next turn. Draw a guide. It's not great, but it's not the worst. It's actually pretty bad. Okay, Incinerator here represents a lot. But my opponent can also Valakut my Incinerator and just beat me. But maybe not. He has Summoner's Pact, so if he has a bounce land he has Titan here. And even without a bounce land he can go land and he has Castle. If any of those is a green land, which it is because he has Dryad, so 2 lands and the pack beat me. And he has 2 green sources to pay for said pact. Azusa. Why would he do that? Because he has Valakut and he wants to kill my Incinerator. So him having Valakut in hand is actually awful. I think we're just dead. Just gonna make sure he knows the line. He probably does. Another pact. So if we survive this turn, there's maybe a chance we can do something. So this fetches something like haste. And now haste fetches Vesuva, copying Valakut and some other land. And he shoots twice there. Like, opponent's putting himself in a very dangerous position. The Titan game I lost. My opponent played every cover stones back in their deck. Yeah. That sometimes happens. They do run something like 8 to 10 Titans, so he's at attacking with Dryad. I don't like that because I want my best plan would have been for my guides to attack and him blocking with Dryad and I double strike it so he doesn't have the green to pay for both pacts. But I'm not sure if can he win here? Can he just win? Guides. Incinerator, and me. Okay. So I think I'm gonna lose because I shocked myself on turn 1 and said that it wouldn't have mattered. Because I'm gonna take 8 and 2, so I'm gonna do 3, so a land drop kills me, and he probably still has land drops from all this. I think I'm gonna die because I didn't respect this closeness of a match. And he obviously has a land drop, yeah. No, but even without that shock, this is 6, so GG's opponent. Getting paired up with some pretty hard matchups here. And let's just update our score. 1, 2. And I have to say, the meta is control and big mana, so it's a rough place for us to be. Rough place for us to be. So we're on the play, that's always great. We have a turn to Incinerator, which is even greater. Like this, I don't know, I haven't done the math, but like week 1 of playing with Incinerator, I feel like I played it on turn 2 a lot. Then after that, I rarely play it on turn 2. Like I remember when I tested 3 Incinerators, it was a bit lackluster, and then I tested 4, and in that league I played turn 2 Incinerator every match. Like game 1 or game 2 was one with turn 2 Incinerator. But it is a high variance card, so like having at least 2 lands, 1 of 8 copies of turn 1 enablers, and 1 of 12 copies of a bolt of a 3 damage spell. But then Seal and Rift can both be used to cast it, so I'm gonna go fetch basic because I don't know what I'm up against, and just play the Seal and skip the turn. Unless my opponent thought seizes me, I think I'm fine. What does that symbolize? I have no clue. We can bluff the mono red Incinerator, so he doesn't even think about charm. There are very few things that can kill me here. Very few things indeed. Because getting on setting up turns into discipline. I'm running 4 Incinerator. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's super bad. Wanna see me get blown up? It might be a deck that plays Brazen Borrower. So I'm gonna hide the land and attack. I'm not gonna borrow Charmer, it's way too risky. Does go through. Huh. Okay, so I'm just gonna hold up these spells. Sorry, let me just answer some questions that I got in chat. How many are you running? I'm running 4 incinerators. The list is here. Just type this command and you get the list. I'm glad Blackhand Disruption isn't super popular. Okay, that's fine. So, wait, what is this? Like Scape Shift, probably. I'm gonna assume it's Scape Shift. Yeah, Black Disruption not being popular is great, because you don't get blown out. If this is Ponza GG, it's not. Yeah, Ponza wouldn't open with a tapped Stomping Ground, like ever. Just mull to acceleration with that deck. Uro? That's fine. I'm gonna play around force here by not trying to double strike my dude. Just okay, so it just sits. Okay, so this is Scape Shift for sure. This comes in, and these come in, and I like taking out 2 Seal of Fire because it's the spell with least damage. I don't like Path against Uro because it ramps them, and ramping any form of control is... That's fine, and taps and swings for 6 with 2 balls in hand. Exactly. Uro doesn't even make me sad if I have an Incinerator on board. And like, that card is great, especially game 1, and you just saw why. I just won game 1 in 4 turns, theoretical 3, because my opponent didn't have an answer. Now game 2 he has Aether Gust, and he probably has some other bullshit to deal with it. A fine hand. I'd hate to draw a land, but it's a fine one. It's like our Titan More, he costs 1. I like our Titan More, he costs 1. Yeah, for sure. Although ours doesn't get value from being played, while actual Titan does. That's actually like why Titan is so good. It's because he's a payoff, but he's also an enabler for land things. No land, no land's great. I just jam Swifty here, and if he wants to kill it, is that charm deals 2, right? I'm sure it's 2. Card this 2/2/2, right? Yeah, pays 2, deals 2, draw 2. Okay, so our opponent's fixing his mana, that's fine. So it's almost sure that this card doesn't survive next turn. It's 50. So I'm gonna guess, is that charm? Or something at sorcery speed? Road Spiral at sorcery speed. What are you doing, opponent? Probably just setting up for Bolt. And I cannot stop that bolt from going off, because I don't have 2 bolts myself. And even then I wouldn't be able to. I need 3 to stop his 1 from killing Swift Speed. So I'm just gonna attack for 1. And hope my opponent thinks it's not worth it. Like, that damage matters, because I have a bunch of 3 damage spells and 1 4 damage spell. So my hand is very much lethal. And now I don't have Skullcrack, and I'd love to play Skullcrack, and I'd love to represent Skullcrack and then Boros Charm, but I don't think that my opponent's gonna play around Skullcrack. So I'm gonna set up a good Swift Spear turn. So I'm thinking Uro next turn. Opt. Okay, that's fine. So on his end step I'm gonna cast this bolt. That's Uro. Now if he doesn't put a red source up, we're very happy. Now our best draw here is Surgical. No red source. Well, no red source. Oh, but that's a red source. Sadly, we have to shoot him. And he has Uro Escape next turn, so it's Surgical, or I think we just lose. So he shocks himself, that's not great. And that's definitely not great, but it works. It's still lethal if my opponent just escapes Uro and doesn't have anything. Like something like Aether Gust gets us. It's gonna go to 9. We have 11 damage. This is Uro. I see no respect for Skullcrack. Or he just has a counter. He probably just has counter. He probably has Aether Gust. I'm not gonna let him get to 3 mana and Archmage Charm this. So he has Aether Gust. Is a charm. That also works. So what's our plan here? What is our plan? He's at 8. Next turn he's attacking for 11. We draw land, which isn't great. We can get him down to 1. Gets back up to 4. So we need to do it like this. He's gonna have every land untapped next turn, which is awful for us, but I think this is our only way out. So he attacks, it goes back up to 11. So now, do we want to play around Is a Charm? I think if I crack this and see a Skullcrack, I could maybe do something. Like His mana situation just screams. Of course he has something. If he is at charms, I have to pay. And I can't. So I don't think I can beat his at charm. So let's try it out. I have to shock here. Let's see if we draw a Skullcrack. Of course we draw a 5th land. This goes through. I think we just lose. Is there a way we win? No, there is. Is he just gonna play Scapeshift? Yeah, that's Scapeshift. We just wins, okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, we really want to see Surgical in this matchup. Sadly, we can't mull for it. Yes, I would like to play first. Not the best hand. You know, like this hand just dies completely to turn 1 bolt. I have to mull. Much better, much better. I bought him Lava Spike because I really wanted Skullcrack, and I think that the creature density is what it's all about. Fucking Vantages, yeah, even with another charm not enough mana. I mean, I did. I could Boros Charm. If he just attack with Uro and have nothing, he was at 11. So Boros Charm, Lava Spike is like end of turn Boros Charm, and then upkick Boros Charm, Lava Spike is 11. I'm gonna shock myself because I like the ability to not symbolize so obviously that I'm holding up something like Skullcrack. So by shocking myself on a turn that I'm playing at sorcery speed, I avoid that. So Triumph here is absolutely amazing for us. Our draw here should be land bolt or bolt land. Guide works. Now if my opponent plays Anger of the Gods, I just lose. But I mean, it's not like I can not play these cards because my opponent has a combo and he discards Escape Shift, meaning he doesn't want a combo. So what's our worst thing here? What's the worst thing that could happen? Growth Spiral to bolt. Oh, I just win? I cannot math. Can I win here? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So not a win. And I have to hold up Skullcrack, so I can't play the Swift Spear. Like this puts them down to 7, which is okay. But him discarding removal scares me a bit. I mean, I guess Aethergust is like the worst form of removal because it just gives me the spell again. Now, hopefully he Uros here. That's not gonna come in untapped. Oh, that's beautiful. So here's... Weather the Storm is pretty scary. I've lost this matchup to Weather the Storm. So I don't think I want to tap out here. Because Weather the Storm, even if I Boris Charm, Weather the Storm will gain him 3, I'll go up to 10. Then he could bolt one of my dudes. And I would let me do some math here. So worst case scenario, he weathers the storm. So with Boris Charm he goes up to 9. And then he bolts one of my dudes. So he's at 9, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'd need a land to win, or a bolt. So I think I like not doing anything here. So no Archmage Charm is great. This Team Vents is still in his hand, because he saw 2 in a row. So him going to 2 here is pretty great, because now I hold all the cards, like he can't weather the storm, like ever. If he now goes lands, Uro, and holds up Weather the Storm, goes up to 5, so okay, so this is a very tricky situation. I really have to play around Weather the Storm. I'd really love a land here. I think I'm just gonna attack. Like my opponent has to do anything, something. If he has double Weather the Storm, I'm super dead. Opts, he's looking for something. He's drawing the Growth Spiral. This guy saw Cryptic. Is that charm? Okay. You're still dying to combat damage. So Weather the Storm? Yep. Like if he has Force now? Yeah, okay, so we win that one. Yeah, this card is, in my opinion, a pretty bad card because it beats exactly one matchup, which is Burn, and Burn isn't popular enough, like even remotely popular enough for you to play this card, but people just hate losing to red decks. So we're 2-2. Not the best score, but means you can still go even. The meta is super rough for Burn right now, because Prowess is, and yet it's in every green deck ever. Yeah, people just love to play that card, because like it must feel great beating red decks with one card, especially in decks that have trouble beating those red decks. Like Tron loves to play it, and that deck has some troubles against red, and Control historically has problems against red, so like this deck loves to play it because of that. But I genuinely think that they would be better off playing something else. Like anything. Like the green Wall of Omens would be so much better, because like it blocks for days. June, you can just rely on using. Wait. I'm just thinking about playing more investors and doing stuff, reading your opponent's stats, keep out the good work. Oh, thank you very much. That means a lot. I just started yesterday, and it's been very fun. I like to talk through my lines. This is a fine keep. Not the best, but 3 lands and spells. Ooh, let me just go up chat a little. John, you can just rely on Ooze and Cobra. Yeah. It's probably blue-white, maybe Storm. Definitely a control-ish deck. So we can just be aggressive with our lands. Seeing as we're not playing Searing Blaze. On the off chance that this is Storm, like Storm with the green splash to play Veil of Summer, I think I don't want to waste Bolt. This is more. It's likely it's control actually, so I'm just gonna hide the information of what I'm playing. Sorry, June, and you can just rely on Ooze and Collective Brutality. Yeah, Collective Brutality is their best card against aggro, and Collective Brutality is a good card. Like, it has a lot of uses, and it can help you filter through your deck. Not filter through your deck, but give a better use to non-relevant cards in the current board situation. So it's banned Stoneforge. I hate this deck. I'm just gonna kill the Stoneforge. Way wider than Weatherstorm. Yeah, it's just way better. Collective Brutality is actually a good card. Weather the Storm is just a bad card. What's up, man? This is Berg from Discord. Hey, dude. What is up? You came in a little late. We're on the last game, but still glad you could join us. I'm just gonna kill Stoneforge here because I don't. If he's fetching for Sword of Feast and Famine, he might have Better Skull in hand. An Eidolon here is the best possible draw we could have. And prerequisite mine, I'm blind. Yeah, it's on screen. It's a little small, but I think that I don't want wide info. And actually, I just noticed that the place where the Modern League text is a little bit above my opponent's things like cards in hand. I hope that isn't too bad. So what do I want to do here? We draw Lava Spike. So this mana situation isn't too scary. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play Seal of Fire. Because now I can just attack. I think I have the same glasses as you, boss. They're like round, Harry Potter-ish. But I really like them. I don't know if you can see them all that well. Ooh, Path on my Eidolon isn't great, but still ramps us up for future turns, which is not awful. I think I'm just gonna hold up Boris Charm here. I was saying my camera is crappy as hell, but what I could manage. Okay, so this is fine. It's not fine if he plays Uro here, which he of course will. The fair is more than fine. Now if I draw Bolt, or any form of damage, I'm just very happy. Okay, so here's the thing. He has 5 cards in hand. One of them is sword, so he has 4 cards. So something like force, blue card, and Uro blow me out. But I think we have to go for it. Like, there's no way that we can sandbag this, because he has the fairy, so we can't even like put him to 3. So he has force. So he has 2 cards in hand that aren't sword. So if it's Uro, we're kind of screwed. But this Seal of Fire also means that he cannot play a fetch land if he doesn't have Uro. We just need something off the top here. So another force. Okay, so he has sword in hand. Double force is hard to beat, but now he just has sword. We are kind of fine. And he doesn't even have anything to bounce. Yeah, like this is a mistake. It's a big mistake from opponent. Because I'm gonna crack it, and this ability won't do anything. See, 2 cards in hand. It was a major mistake. Major mistake from opponent. And he obviously doesn't have oh, he played the thing. I'm gonna play sword, yeah, that's reasonable. My opponent has no cards in hand. The fairy can't draw a card next turn. Rift Bolt, not the best. We're gonna cast it right away, because we cannot suspend that, even if it wouldn't be a good plan. We can't forget that the fairy is on the table. So opponent draws and just goes. Oof, and this is a good one. Like, opponent draw goes. Like, I think that at 1 card we have to force him to have anything. I don't think that we can afford to just wait until he draws Uro and then we are in a pickle. Okay, so we won that one. Now, I think that we play the Uro plan, which is Skullcrack Surgical, but I think that we want Smash the Smithereens. Like, it's such a big blowout for them if they play the... what's that thing called? The Batter Skull plan, and we just kill it. So I'm just gonna take... I think I just play 2 Smash the Smithereens. It's like drawing 2 is pretty rough. I think that's the best plan. Wait. I didn't take my cards out. That's a good one. Oh, might as well keep the turn 2 Incinerator, right? That was bad. That was a big mistake from my part. Hope it's not too punished. If my opponent plays Stoneforge, I'm kind of fine. Now here's the thing. I think I have to kill the Stoneforge, because I think that between Path and Teferi and Aethergust, but either one of them delays Batter Skull, and I'm still doing damage, so you know what? A second Incinerator? Do I want to be cheeky? I can Fire Rift Bolt and pass, and my opponent will be inclined to Batter Skull, so he won't play Teferi. I think I want to set up for the double Incinerator here, because even if he hits my Rift Bolt, I can just Incinerator once. It's a risky move, but I think it's the move that applies most pressure. It's gonna be a tough game. Like I didn't sideboard properly, I didn't remove the card, so now I'm on 60 cards. I wonder if my opponent noticed. He's probably thinking about... No. Just it took destroy that sim and suspend, no? Like, if my opponent wants to play Batter Skull and I get to double Incinerator, I'm fine with that. So I'd rather just force my opponent to have two answers rather than just have one answer. Does sound better, yes? If I draw a land here, I'll be very happy. Alright, so that works. I have to go like this. Is my opponent just gonna activate Stoneforge? No. I'm gonna play one Incinerator. My opponent's gonna mana leak it. With 68 cards without 2 Incinerators. Yeah, that's a bit unlucky. My opponent's misplaying, I think. I mean, he's not. Why would I ever keep two... why would I ever play 2 Incinerators in one turn? That's bonkers, right? So now opponent... Wait a minute. No? Thought someone was knocking on my door. So yeah, unless he has another path, I'm fine here. Yeah, and I just lose. Okay. The Incinerator is not great in this matchup, obviously. Like, that was a big mistake from my part. My opponent's on green, right? I was playing green game 1. Boom, 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 Mystic. Pretty sure he was playing green. So I just take these, and I'm on 60 cards now. Okay, now that's correct. Submit that deck. Okay. Great hand, we'll just keep. Now, Swifty into Eidolon is a great opener. Unless my opponent is playing Spell Snare, which he shouldn't, because Stoneforge decks usually don't have the open slots to play Spell Snare. Spell Snare is another card that I think it's not great, because it has very few hits in Modern currently. But people do love to play it, just because it feels so good when it works. I think I'm gonna shock myself here. Again, playing around Timely Reinforcements. like an early timely reinforcements. Yeah, but the previous game clearly shows why Incinerator is not good against control decks, because Aethergust just blows. Aethergust's not like, it's just a critical mass of answers, so I'm gonna attack first in case my opponent wants to path. Like, he didn't even consider it, so he's probably not running path. So here I'm gonna fetch for basic, because if I want this Eidolon to stick, even so, I want those paths to give me some value. Does he have spell snare? Opt. Okay, that's fine. So turn 1 opt. So turn 2 Stoneforge is not great for my opponent here. Yet it does exactly that. Can I force my opponent to block here? I just go bolt, bolt, bolt. He goes down to 9. And then 4. And it stays at 3. I think I have to do it, right? I'll be so low on HP. Or do I just kill the Stoneforge? I think I just kill the Stoneforge, right? It's 1 more damage going through and I still kill it. Sounds much better. If he has force, he has force. So I'm actually gonna do it now to see if my opponent plays force. And if he does, I might not play this Lava Spike. So he has force for this. That's fine. I'm still gonna do this. Like, he pretty much has to block here. Like, yeah, of course he has to block. And yeah, now he has to deal with... What did he fetch with Stoneforge? I think I deleted it. Stoneforge chooses not to use Stoneforge's mystic ability, so he has every equipment in hand. That's at least 2 out of 5 cards. And we managed to go even. It's pretty great. So let's go back to the league. What would we have drawn? Boris Charm? Yeah, the game was over. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna play another league. But I'll yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was a fine league. What did we play against? We lost against that Jeskai combo control deck, which was very well built in my opinion. And I'm gonna check out lists, and it just trophied. It was at 8 when we started, now it's at 9, so really strong player here. And we lost to Amulet, which is definitely not a great matchup. We beat Storm, we beat Control twice. Teamer Control and Band Control. Overall, a fun league. I think that's what matters most, to be honest. If you're playing lots of Magic, is that you have fun with it, and you're not just doing it for the sake of doing it. So my rule of thumb is I open chests when I get 1. I always open 1 chest after leagues, So if I 3-2, I open the one chest. If I 4-1, I open one of the 5, because that nets 10 ticks with the 4 other chests. And if I 5-0, I open one to net 25 ticks with those 10 chests. So it's just, I like opening chests, but it's not really that great value. We actually get a lot of play points here. 35 is pretty awesome. And we got a mostly bulk rare, right? Am I missing something? What was the card even? So with those 35 play points, we're now at a point where we can 2-3 a league and still get to 200 play points. It's important to keep the game quote-unquote free to play. What was the card we... was Shadow Moor thing? A Shadow Moor Ghast Lord of whatever. It's probably a bulk card, yeah. We have 2 of those. Probably a cycle. A bad cycle because 5 mana. Alright, that was quite fun. I think I'm gonna encore a second league. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just play another one. Is there anything I want to change in my list? What did I lose against? The Jeskai one was just so hard to beat. We didn't really play aggro matchups, which is why I'm playing Boros, not Naya, and why I'm playing these 3 cards. But I think that I'd rather skew aggro matchups, which are easier to answer with cards like these, than like combo, because playing against combo is like the one card you can play against combo is, I have it here somewhere, it's Angel's Grace. Here it is, because you can just uncounterably stop their combo from killing you, and a lot of combo decks like have 0 resources after they try to combo. So I think I'm just gonna run the same list, same 75, and just gonna play another league real quick. I hope I don't play against that guy, John. Good hand. I think I'm just gonna do just another level, or just another league. I'm gonna keep this. Or did I say just another level? Let's see if that guy, John, has like posted lists. Spire Bluff. Is this Storm again? I'm not super in love with this if it's Storm. I'm also not super in love with this if it's Control. Let's play Seal of Fire. I hope my opponent doesn't have a bounce game 1, which isn't that common. So when you play something and it's 9 PM, it tells it just instantly 4 AM. Oh! Yeah, might be prowess. Prowess without playing it a 1-drop. Like banking on that sweet Stormwind on turn 2, maybe. Yeah, but just another league is about 1 hour and 30 minutes, whereas just another level is just another 50 levels, and it is 4 AM after that. Not a great draw here, but let's open up with a Bolt, see if he does anything. I don't know what I'm playing against. I'm gonna shock myself. Like, this land is gonna come in eventually. Oh wait, I still need to do this. Yeah. If my opponent is on Storm and Storm's off on turn 3, there's not really much I can do. That's always the case, so he is on Prowess. Wow. So why didn't he play anything? I don't think I die here. I'm just gonna put the pressure up. Attack for 9. Lightning bolt. That's 5 damage. Oh, no, no, no! God damn it. I do this so often. I just skip to end step without playing my second main stuff. Hopefully this is enough pressure. What's this? What's this opponent? Manamorphose. Alright. So my opponent should go all in here, but not sure if that's really a possibility with Sprite Dragon. Burst Lightning or Guide. So he's not going all in. Wait, what the hell? So here's what you do. Attack. He's gonna block here. I'm just gonna let that go through. So he bolts, and I charm him. Or do I double strike? No, I think that charm is the correct move. Because now Swift is threatening lethal if he has mutagenic growth, yeah. Or, wait, he stepped out. He can't do anything about this burst, huh? Never mind. So now game 2. These 3 are definitely coming in. These 3 are definitely coming in. And I think I'll set out Skullcrack. They don't really gain life. They might be on the thing, the Dragon's Claw. And if they are on Dragon's Claw, I don't think I can really play too deep into Smash the Smithereens. I'd rather just pressure them with Incinerator than being on a too overreactive plan. As weird as that sounds, I don't love Eidolon here. Yes, Smash is hella risky here. I like Smash against Stoneforge because it's their main plan. I don't like it here because it's their like tertiary plan of just holding the game with Dragon's Claw. I don't love Eidolon here because it quickly gets answered. They have Burst Lightning, they have Bolt, and as suboptimal as it is, they have Lava Dart. And Eidolon also taxing me is not great here because they do threaten my life total. What else do I want to take out? Maybe I just want 2 paths. Or maybe like 1 Golden Guide because it's not the best creature. It's all of theirs. Freely block this with 1 spell. I think that's our game plan. Pyroclasm, yeah. It's decent enough, in my opinion, and deals with a bunch of matchups that are very annoying. Deals with white tokens, because they need 2 force of virtue to keep them alive. It deals with this deck, if they tap out to play like a really strong turn, like this hand. Like, it has the potential of powering in a turn 2 or 3 Incinerator. I was saying something. And I do it with lava darts. Yeah, but it's still a decent card for the matchup, because it forces them to hold up spells on our turn, meaning it doesn't represent prowess triggers on their turn. And I don't know why my opponent just shocked himself, but I do know that that represents something. Now, I could Lava Spike here. I think I'm just gonna hold up Path, because I think my opponent's gonna opt into looking for a turn 2 Stormwing. And then I just path the Stormwing, then I untap, and I hold up Boros Charm. Oh no, I get distracted easily, so it's not about talking with chat, it's just that I get distracted very easily. Even if I'm not streaming, I get super distracted. I was saying something about something. Pyroclasm, right? It forces them to play their stuff on my turn. Do I want to path this? Not really. Especially if they're on one land. If I can punish... yeah, I'm gonna punish that one lander for sure. So, Seal of Fire here is pretty great. So, I could play the tapped Sacred Foundry to net me some life. I think I can afford that, right? Just play this tapped and play Seal of Fire. Not just wait. And now I even have the luxury of having Spike, Incinerator, and path his Soul Scar if he has it. Because Soul Scar deals very well with Incinerator. Bolt me and attack. So he's getting desperate now. He sees the land. So maybe I have to path that Swift Spear sometime in the future. Just bolt me again. No, light up the stage. Okay. What does my opponent draw? Stormwing Gut Shot. Yeah, this pat's gonna hit that Stormwing for sure. Going down to 13 is not great, but my opponent has 2 cards in hand. And his next turn... see, this is why I don't love light up the stage. Because now I know exactly what my opponent's next turn will be. And I can prepare for it. And that's just not great for him. And I'm even gonna be cheeky. And I'm gonna kill that. My opponent. Played Incinerator. I'm gonna suspend this Rift Bolt. Because Storming doesn't have haste, so I don't need to worry about it. I'm attacking for a lot. He does see a land, so he can pay mana for the gut shot. Manamorphose. That's fine. So Stormwing. Kinda just have to be careful about my opponent making this huge and trading with my Incinerator. So I might not even block. Because like with Riftbolt coming down, I kill this, I pass the entity, I double strike my Incinerator and I just win. So I don't need to risk my Incinerator dying for some life points of mine. And he gut shots me. I don't think I can lose this turn. Even if my opponent double bolts me from hand. Yeah, play Stormwing. This Cry 2 is really powerful. I think that's what pushes this card over the limit of not really playable, because it might be awkward into it's playable because it has value. Like this Cry is very relevant in a deck that doesn't want to see too many lands and also has to look for specific spells, so he just doesn't attack here. He attacks. He might have Volt, I'm not gonna block. Like, even with Bolt to 9, Lava Dart, to I actually die if he has exactly those cards. Bolt me to 9, then double dart me to 7, and because he played 3 spell... No, I'll stay at 1. Yeah, I think I have him. Do we have it? Opponent is thinking he might have that exact line, like bolting me, but he decides not to do it because he can count. That charm is gonna be powerful. Yeah, that charm is gonna be hella powerful. Like, let me kill the little dude. I'm gonna draw the card just to see what I draw. And I'm even gonna be cheeky. He doesn't have double bolt. He might have Spell Pierce though. Let's play it safe. Cause like, even if he hold on a moment, I have to answer a call. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Great hand for us. Against Lurus, it's probably not Burn, because Burn doesn't run Lurus anymore. Might be Rakdos Prowess. And these land situation isn't great, but this card situation is pretty great. It's Devoted Druid. Alright. And if Giver of Runes. So here's an awkward one. I have to bolt that. But I don't want to bolt that. But I have to. Unless I can guide, and the next turn I guide and skewer one, kill the other. I actually like that plan way more. Because guide is then on board and pressuring. Bobble. Ah, that's fine, they're playing Lurus. I dislike this card in any non... Like, if this card is only there for Lurus, nothing else, I really don't agree with it. But it does give the deck some ability to just go long. And I have to take another phone call. God damn it. Sorry about that. Just be 1 minute. I'm back, sorry about that again. That was a great turn for us. Especially since he's shocked himself twice. He even fetched for a shock. Which is great. Really great for us. That's not that great for us. But we can freely just kill it. Like, this is not optimal in terms of mana usage, but we really need to stop them from going off. Like, this guide on turn 1 was a really good play, because now they're just super pressured. That's not great, but they're probably gonna Eladamri's call for a giver and play giver. No, that's a bad play. They might just wish Uro into hand here. If they do, I might just go idle on Swifty. Put him down to 6. And if he plays anything, it's down to 4. Yeah, I think this one's pretty hard to lose. Opponent is thinking about what he's gonna do. Understandable. Like, I put him in a pretty rough situation. And his mana wasn't great. I do like that art. This is not great for us. But this is. So we can play out our whole hand. Like, I think we want to bolt this, because this symbolizes that it doesn't have a combo piece to fetch with Aladamir's Call, so what he's doing is he's gonna filter his deck looking for one and then he's gonna wish for the other. We're just gonna kinda kill him here. I'm gonna attack before I play the Eidolon, just because I want this Eidolon to survive. And if they had Path there, could have done something about it. Now my opponent's dead on board, and if he plays a blocker, is probably still dead on board. And this is not a great land to draw. But now you can't win, opponent. Yeah, right. I actually didn't play around this. I couldn't. So that's that. Wow, our draws would have been... Whoa! Our draws would have been so bad. Incinerator. I think he might board in Leyline. Not 100% sure, or he might board in... he definitely boards in Burnthorn. The little one drop that's annoying as hell. I want Skullcrack, I want Path, I think I want Surgical. They're a combo deck. They really don't have too many wins without the combo. So... Pyroclasm doesn't sound awful. And Explosives. I definitely don't want to board in so many things, but I think that's Skullcrack. I think I want to board out Incinerator. Because, like Storm, it asks me to play a very tap-out aggressive style, which I cannot do. So this is the... so let's do it like this. This is my maybe in. So I think that, as weird as that is, I want to side out Boros Charm because it doesn't hit creatures. And with that, I can put in Path to Exile and 2 Surgical. And I think that's our best move. I don't want to board out Seal of Fire because it's great removal against them. And our creature package does put the pressure on. It's a decent hand. And we know they aren't on ley line. It has cheap removal, has instant speed removal, has Eidolon and Goblin Guide to keep the pressure on. Like, we just need one land. Like, on the draw, keeping one landers is fine. My opponent doesn't look to have a turn 1 play. Meaning we can just go Goblin Guide and start attacking. Now, I do give a free scry to my opponent. Not really, because it's a land. And an off-color fetch land is like the best to give my opponent. Actually, a shock land is, because this is just a forest that you have to pay 1. I imagine he plays Core Firewalker here. Devoted. Devoted Druid. It's super fine. That's so fine. Let's post mortem. So it's Phyrexian 1 and X. Okay, so it's a tax of 2 life to play something from the grave, basically. So my opponent can't do it next turn. Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm just gonna kill that. Put more pressure on is always great. Just gonna kill it. Just attack. Another land. That's fine. It's getting a bit late. I'm not sure if I'll complete this league, but I'm definitely gonna stream tomorrow, so I'll finish it tomorrow and then play an entire one. That might be a good plan. So, Giver and nothing else. My opponent is really on the rocks here. I'm just gonna kill the Giver. Here's the thought. I'm gonna attack. Like, does he have... He does have post-mortem for next turn. You can go like post-mortem and devoted with Giver backup, so I'm just gonna kill it now. And hold up Bolt. And kill whatever thing he plays first. My opponent's at 9, so he might be very dead. So this is Eladamri's call. Okay. Did my opponent play the foothills? Or was this turn 1? This was turn 1, right? Yeah, because he fetched for Temple Garden, so he still has these in hand. Not birds, but he fetches the Photo Druid, which is very fine for us. This Druid cannot combo the turn he comes down. Druid is fine. Noble Yarok is fine. I'm just gonna kill the Druid now. Oh, and this one is great. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna attack like this. I'm gonna surgical druid. Yeah, and he had the combo next turn. Just gonna do that. They're all exiled. I once forgot to exile a card, and my opponent took advantage of it. And then I'm gonna... If I bolt him... Do I want to bolt him? Or do anything here? Right on time. Yeah, that surgical was pretty good. Do I want to bolt them? They go down to 6, they go down to 3. And then I suspend this, so that means that they have to do something on their turn. But I'm scared of them finding... They're gonna fight... No. They're not gonna find Vizier now. Because I shuffled their deck. If they find something like Shalai, I might be in trouble. So I don't think I bolt him here. Or if they find a problem creature, I want to have the removal for it. I don't know. I just took away their combo, but you never know. I'm not sure what opponent is doing. All I can do is wait right now. My opponent is taking a real long time here. Like, I'm still online, right? Yeah. Everything checks out. I'm just gonna chat. Lag check on chat. Goes through, so everything should be fine. Maybe he's just looking at his deck, thinking if he has a way out. Which is reasonable. Like, sometimes take my time with my lines. This game does require you to think in order to optimize your lines. Opponent's just... the hell is he doing? I can really do nothing but wait. So yesterday I lost to Eldrazi again. I was thinking about what could I do, what cards could I play against them. It definitely has to be on Boros. Path is pretty suboptimal. Like, I feel that because Thought Not Seer just steals anything we have, like any card is suboptimal against them. Like any card that isn't critical mass of spells, of burn spells. So I'm not sure if there's anything that I could run against Eldrazi to gain some advantage. Not really sure. Is there a card that... I mean, there is, like, Incinerator is just great against them. My opponent just forgot about the game, apparently. I have to wait, so no use in me just staying here silently. Incinerator is really great against Eldrazi, but I think that them on the play being able to eat parts of our turn to Incinerator is pretty bad. I'd love for a... I don't even know. I don't even know what could be used to beat Eldrazi consistently. Like some threatening card like Kiln Fiend? Could that be something? Like no trample, so it just kills one of theirs? I'd rather just run more paths, honestly. Yeah, I don't think there's a card, like a single card that just makes the matchup really good for us, sadly. My opponent just Chattering 3 mentioned in the Discord. Yeah, that was the thought today, that Chattering 3 beats Chalice on any number of counters and multiple chalices. But that's the artifact part, not the Eldrazi part, and the Eldrazi part is what actually beats us to... Because Eldrazi are big, so they block us, they have utility. In Thought Not Seer, eating a card away, Matter Reshaper, trading 1 for 1 and then gains value, so it's a 2 for 1, and Reality Smasher cannot be removed at less than a 2 for 1 for our opponent. So it's a pretty rough matchup. Luckily, aside from like very specific draws, they can't beat Incinerator, like at all. So their outs are Ugin or Karn wishing for Bridge, which we can break, or All Is Dust. And they're all pretty steep for a deck that doesn't necessarily has turn 3 Tron every game. Because Eldrazi Tron doesn't play for Tron, it plays for turn 3 Thought Not Seer. Meaning it's better against us, but our Incinerator is better against them than normal Tron. Like regular green Tron actually side out Incinerator, because at best it swings for 6, and the high variance is something that we cannot afford in that matchup. Like, I love Incinerator because it just beats a ton of decks that we couldn't beat before. Like, it beats Dredge very well, because their only out is having 6 cards in hand and a Conflagrate in the graveyard very early on. It beats Amulet Titan because they have 0 outs. Like, maybe they play Aether Ghost post sideboard, but if they're keeping Aether Ghost, they're not going fast, and that can go very bad for them. Eldrazi, like, it puts us in a place where we can actually beat them, whereas before Incinerator, it was just... Yeah, Incinerator is not a good card for anywhere but burn. Like, people talked about playing it in prowess, and that's just a big mistake. People were talking about it in standard, and no way you can get that card down consistently. It's a meme card, but it's playable for us. It's more than playable, in my opinion. It's up there with Eidolon in terms of... And so we won. Our opponent probably forgot about the game, or just... I don't know, was contemplating life. But we got there. I'm 2-0. I think I'm gonna stop the stream here. It's getting a bit late. I have some stuff I need to take care of. But tomorrow I'll stream for sure. And I'll finish this league and then play another one. That sounds like a good plan. So I think I'm gonna... I think it's way more narrow than Island, but it's about being a card that opponents have to answer immediately. Like, they cannot let it sit there for a turn. And it's more narrow because it doesn't just play itself. You can just play it for itself. But the rest of our deck is bolty enough that it just comes down naturally. Like, there was a game today against... Was it this prowess game? There was a game where I just played it like on turn 4. My opponent didn't have an answer, so he just lost because Incinerator does a lot. Anyways, a new angle for the deck, I guess. Yeah, it's just like burn is all burn, and then it has these, at least in my version, it has these new 8 cards that are just not burn, but you have to deal with them. And anti-burn cards are very different from anti-key creature cards, and one of them being invulnerable to some popular forms of removal means that we are looking at a... Like, for us, they're easy to deploy simultaneously, but for opponents, they need very specific answers for each of them. That makes... I think that makes this card a staple for our deck. I know that some people disagree, and I sideboard it a lot. Like, most games I'm boarding it out, but that is also because opponents have to board in answers in. So they're boarding answers, Incinerator answers in, and I'm boarding it out, so now their answers are suboptimal for our classic creature package, and that's just not great for them. Anyways, this is it for today. Thank you to anyone who came and saw the previous league and these 2 matches. I'll be back tomorrow, and I always appreciate any feedback anyone has about the stream, about the stuff I say. I'm probably getting lost a lot in my thought, but that's just how I am. Like, I start a sentence and then I finish with another, and then I forgot what I was saying earlier. But that happens to me a lot. So I'm sorry for that. Anyways, thank you for tuning in, and until next time, which should be tomorrow.